on Eglinton West. Here we've got Oakwood, and this is Eglinton, and there's the stations that we're waiting for them to open. And then we've got happening here. Oh my goodness, but look at what we have happening there. Isn't that fabulous? That is fabulous. Wow. Yeah, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Love the look. And so you've got this book launch happening. I have the book for a while now, and it's Barnett, Barnett, sponsored by Band. And then look at where it's happening in this beautiful converted Monica's Cosmetics space. And so Band Offsite, Black Arts Network and Dialogue. Monica's community events, our space coming soon. See? And then you walk in.
Because her family just was like, you can't be around people because you know our elders, they would keep going if you let them. And then it sat empty for a few years, and then Junior gave us a call at Ben and said, hey, I want to do something in homage to my mom, and I know she'd love it to be a space that gives back to community. If you know how these buildings work, you know these pillars are a testament to this Jamaican woman bought 2 buildings, not just one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the width of it is a testament to just, I mean, I wish I had those baller skills. I don't want anything commercial. So yeah, just wanted to give that context and let you know that the space is starting to operate. It will be a social enterprise. You can blame me for that. But traveling and seeing what's happening on the continent, this is how those spaces are operating. And I think we need a mix of that for our communities in this city. And we know how many artists are having issues with space. So it'll be affordable. Because they own the building, they won't have the stresses of, the landlord with the crazy fees. But we just wanted to make sure you understood the context of why we're here, and that we're also be gentle, because I know someone, I look up a ceiling already. I already know. I know some of you have looked and thought, not quite finished. It is not quite finished, but we are bringing you in to bring color and love. We are bringing this gorgeous and brilliant artist and author, Malene Barnett, today to talk to us about her work. And with that, I'm gonna throw to Lanisha, and she will do the formalities.
Hi everyone, welcome to the book tour. Cultural Kinship from Malene Barnett. We are at Monica's, as Karen just said, record store turned beauty salon, now in its current iteration as a social enterprise in Little Jamaica, in Toronto, which has been the traditional territories for many Indigenous and First Nations people, including the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, Mississaugas of the Credit, the Wendat and the Chippewa people, Band, Black Artists Network and Dialogue, as a gallery and cultural centre dedicated to Black artists and arts workers, acknowledge our unique relationship as allies to Indigenous peoples in their fight for human rights. We acknowledge the historical colonialism on this island, Turtle Island, and the ongoing colonialism which has led to land acknowledgements being offered in place of land. We want to thank Malene and Karen for being in conversation today. We'd also like to thank our supporters, TD and Canadian Heritage, for supporting the programme. We'd also love to thank Junior for offering the space, welcoming us into Monica's as another band off-site, as we are currently renovating our property in 90 Brock Avenue, hoping to be back this summer. And if you'd like to hear more about the renovations, our exhibitions, our live arts programme, our professional development services, please come to our Nook after. And if you'd like to hear more about how you can be a friend of band, definitely come talk to me after. But I'd like to introduce Malene and say her bio. Malene Barnett is an award-winning multidisciplinary artist, textile surface designer, and community builder. She earned her MFA in ceramics from the Tyler School of Art and Architecture and undergraduate degrees in fashion, illustration, and textile surface design from the Fashion Institute of Technology. Malene also received the Fulbright Award to travel to Jamaica in 2022 to 2023 as the visiting artist at the Edna Manley College of the Visual Arts and Performing Arts in Kingston. Malene's art reflects her African Caribbean heritage, building on her ancestral legacy of mark making as a visual identity, and has been exhibited at galleries and museums throughout the United States, including the Mindy Solomon Gallery in Miami, the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, Sugar Hill Children's Museum of Art and Storytelling in New York City, the African American Museum of Dallas, the Temple Contemporary in Philadelphia. Malene's art and design work has appeared in numerous publications, including the New York Times, Gallery, Elle Decor, Architectural Digest, Departures, and Interior Design. In addition, Malene hosts lectures on advocating for African Caribbean ceramic traditions and has participated in residencies at the Anderson Ranch Art Center, Watershed Center for the Ceramic Arts, Greenwich House Pottery, Judson Studios, the Hambridge Center, and Haystack Mountain School of Crafts. In 2024, Malene released her first book, which you can purchase today, A Crafted Kinship Inside the Creative Practice for Contemporary Black Caribbean Makers through Hatchet, which includes interviews with over 60 artists of Caribbean heritage, taking readers on an important journey through the world of Black Caribbean creativity. This groundbreaking collection is the first to feature Caribbean makers' intimate stories of their art-making process and how their countries of origins, their land, influences and informs on what they create. And Malene is also the founder of the Black Artists and Designers Guild, which supports independent Black makers globally. I'd like to introduce Malene and Karen to the stage.
I can project, so they know me. I have a big voice. The mic's all yours. So, as you heard from that bio,
It's always interesting to hear somebody read about it.
you forgot something
Yeah,
that didn't
it's
you?
all good. We gotta update too, there's more.
I don't know about these high chairs, but I'm showing off my fancy socks. So we are going to start at the beginning because I think we were just in Jamaica together for ski art, and I was lucky enough to take in some of the conversation you had or presentation you did at NYU recently, and I know this book is on a book tour, so you're out there talking to folks about the publication and also just your practice, right? And I came to know you slightly for the rugs, just, design stuff pops up and I was like, wow. And also the rugs then led to, there was a piece around the installation, which I believe is in your home in New York. And then we met briefly, and I think it was 23 and when you were at the Edna Manley School. So I'm gonna go way back to like Malene, the child, like where if some artists say it was always in me, I always knew I was an artist. Some people went on a train to one place and then pivoted into another. So tell us a bit about, where you're from, who are you people?
Okay. Well, first, thank you all. This is like to have the Toronto, I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but Toronto love. So thank you for having me. We gotta go back, all right?
Yes, please.
I was actually born in the Bronx, New York, but I grew up in a small town called Norwalk, Connecticut, by the beach. And my mother's from St. Vincent, and my father's from Jamaica. And we actually moved to Connecticut because my parents at the time, they didn't want to raise their children in New York anymore. And my father had friends that's in Norwalk, and then they ended up, my mother scraped up those dollars together and ended up buying this house. And I want you to get a visual of my neighborhood. Now, small town by the beach. We were the only Black family there. And so my mother actually bought the house from a Black couple. They were moving to California, And as she tells me the story, she didn't have all the money, but they wanted her to have the house. So she went back, to working at a pen factory, doing this, whatever, and she scraped up the money, and they waited for her, and she bought the house. And it was funny, they wanted to move back to New York, Norwalk, and so they were like, are you interested in selling the house back? No, not after all I did. And so, and I also want to share that it was my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, who migrated to New York on her own from St. Vincent. And my mother's the oldest, and she migrated first, so she came first, after being away from her mother for about 6+ years, okay? And so when my mother came to the US, she didn't know what to study. She just knew she wanted to study. And she was a classical pianist, and she enrolled in a music school, and then the school went bankrupt, and then NYU bought it. And then she changed her major to education and then a minor in art. Okay, so fast forward, now I'm back in Connecticut. We're the only Black family in the neighborhood, pretty much the only Caribbean family in the area, in that neighborhood. Now there was a small Caribbean community there, but we were on the other side of town. So
hold on a sec.
I
just realized this mic is on.
oh, it's not on. Okay.
Sorry, Junior did tell me push the thing.
Oh yeah, I can hear myself better now.
There you go.
So we were on the other side of town, but when I was interacting with children when we went to school. So all the sides of towns would convene at this elementary. And so I had to bring you to my elementary school, which was down the street from my house. We would walk. And it was in the 3rd grade. I was selected for an artistically talented program. They saw that my skills for drawing, so I got picked out and I was in a class. Now I'm the only Black student there. Not knowing, 8 years old, you don't know. But I knew I loved drawing portraits. That's what I knew. And I had a cousin, my auntie was living with us at the time. He was a baby and he was a very lovely chocolate brown skin tone, my cousin. And I had a photograph of him and I wanted to paint it in my class. And at the time, our teacher only allowed us to mix skin tones of white people. Oh, no. And so I have this painting, my mother has it framed in the house, and I look at it and I'm like, I remember what the original picture was, and that was not my cousin. But we weren't allowed to mix anything darker. Wow. And all the portraits that I made either had to be my friends who were actually white, and I was able to mix. I couldn't paint myself or my family in the image of what we look like. But it was there that I learned how to, I looked at still lifes on a weekly basis, and we were painting and drawing different things. I learned how to sign my name, because the teacher said we had to sign first name, first